בוקר טוב לכולם. רובכם מכירים אותי כשושי, המורה בכיתה ה'. Most of you know me. My name is Shoshi Jalfin, and I teach in 5th grade both Hebrew and Jewish studies. Now, if you are 13 or younger, please stand up. Don't be bashful. If you are 13 and younger. Now, all of you know more Hebrew than I did when I was your age. Please have a seat, but don't feel too comfortable. Now, if you know what the word Tanakh means, please stand up. When I was your age, I did not know what the word Tanakh meant. Yet, when I was only 15 years old, I already knew that I wanted to be a teacher and teach Hebrew and Jewish studies to children of your age. Have a seat. Thank you. So you probably wonder what happened between these 2 years that made me decide that. I am here this morning to tell you about it. Growing up in Uruguay, a tiny South American country between Brazil and Argentina, both huge, I did not have the privilege to go to a Jewish day school like you all have. I went to a public school in my neighborhood, and on the weekends, I was involved with a Jewish youth movement and participated in all their activities. From a younger age, a strong love for Israel was cultivated within my family, who dreamed about making Aliyah one day. And indeed, when I was 13 years old, we finally made Aliyah. We arrived in Israel during the summer months, and I began to learn Hebrew from my cousins, whom I got to know and spent many hours playing with them on the beach that summer. I was looking forward to beginning school as an 8th grader in September, thinking that I'd learned enough Hebrew. However, the first day of school was one of the most frustrating experiences I have ever had. Throughout the day, my teachers spoke so fast, I did not understand anything in their classes. I won't go to school anymore. You can't make me go. I cried out loud to my parents when I came back home that day. As you probably guessed, my parents didn't give in, and I had to go to school the next day, and the day after, and so on. At first, I was placed in an intensive Hebrew program for the first 3 hours of the school day with many other kids from different countries, all speaking different languages. As for most 13 years old, friendship was important to us, and Hebrew was the only tool to communicate with each other and make new friends. But there was something else too. As time went by, I gained much appreciation for the diverse Israeli culture, the people, food, music, the beautiful songs played on the radio, the holidays, and much more. And it was during these first months that I fell in love with Hebrew, and I challenged myself to learn it. Every day, I would proudly come home saying something like, "Today I learned 5 new words." I also realized that Judaism transcended time and space and was in fact the common thread that unites united all of us through the Hebrew language and our heritage, and ultimately we were all connected to the land of Israel. 2 years later, at the end of my freshman year in high school, I had the highest grades both in Hebrew grammar and language arts. I don't know how I did it. As for Tanakh, I would prepare the chapters, reading them in Spanish the night before, so as to be able to participate in class, contributing to the discussions on the prophecies of Yeshayahu and Yirmiyahu, Isaiah and Jeremiah, which I found to be fascinating. After I graduated high school, I went to college to pursue my dream, a degree in education, so I could teach children all that I really loved. And indeed, I got to teach for 10 years in elementary schools prior to coming to the States. So if you do the math, it's really more than 34. In 1988, my husband was relocated to the Boston area to work for an Israeli company. We enrolled our kids at Schechter, and I began to teach Hebrew and Jewish studies to third graders at the lower school. It was during that first year that I learned not only how much I enjoyed teaching what I've always loved, but I also understood the value in teaching Hebrew and Jewish studies to American kids outside of Israel, and to spark in them a love for Israel from a very early age. At that point, teaching the Jewish subjects at Schechter became both my passion and my mission in my professional life. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life, Confucius once said. Though I don't really agree with this saying, believe me, teaching is very, very hard. Anima Amina, I believe that when you do something you love, it doesn't matter how many years you are doing it, because you're doing something you believe in and you're passionate about. Today, 34 years after I first came to Schechter, I am retiring from teaching. While I have been a teacher for so many years, I have also been extremely lucky to have learned so much throughout my time at Schechter. Every single day that I have come to school has offered me endless opportunities to learn and to grow, both professionally and as an individual. I have learned from teachers and colleagues I work with, but mostly I have learned from you, my students. You have taught me to appreciate you for who you are. You have taught me to be patient, to laugh with you, and to celebrate your accomplishments together. Above all, you have taught me to perceive teaching Hebrew and Jewish studies as my mission as an educator. Thank you all, and I'm sorry I won't get to teach you fourth graders, but I believe you're gonna be great next year. Thank you all, and I wish that you too will find your passion one day and pursue it. I wish you the best in the years to come. Alu v'hatzlichu.